What's up, guys? It's Monty with the MontyVerse back for another trailer reaction. This time we are reacting to the brand new trailer for Thor, Love, and Thunder. I love this franchise. I love Taika Waititi directing these movies, and I'm so excited for this movie. And joining me is a somewhat of a Thor superfan. I'm joined by Dan Bettenhausen of the Fancast It 4 podcast. What's up, Dan?
Hi, Pat. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great as well. Yeah, long time no see indeed. To amend this, I am a Jason Aaron Thor super fan, which is what, at least from the first trailer, what it looks like this movie's taking influence from. I'm excited to see if this next trailer continues that trend. So thank you for having me, because certainly, if this just builds on the first trailer, I am indeed a fan.
Yeah, and I mean, what better story arc to be a super fan of? It is one of the greatest stories in Marvel Comics, introducing us to one of the strongest villains in Marvel Comics, which is Gorr the God Butcher. In this movie, we know played by Christian Bale. Hopefully we see a little bit of him in this trailer. But without further ado, Dan, are you ready to get into this trailer?
I am always ready.
All right, let's go in 3, 2, 1.
Kids, get your popcorn now. Let me tell you the story of the space Viking, Thor Odinson. He was no ordinary man. He was a god.
I like this kind of 300 vibe.
For the 500th time, Thor set
I like the emphasis on his lineage.
Well, he got
the Viking
shape.
god.
He went from dad bod to god bod.
Dad bod to god bod.
And after all that,
Love that look.
He reclaimed his title as the
There we
one
go.
and only Thor.
There we go.
Oh, spoke too soon.
That's cool. We got a helmet? Okay.
Yeah, that was a drastic shift there.
Yeah.
Your old ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
What's it been, like 3
Jack.
years?
8 years, 7 months, and 6 days. Give or take.
Am I, sensing feelings?
Well, you're right.
The only ones who gods care about is themselves.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Oh.
All gods will die.
There it is.
There it is.
I just want to say that was very, very impressive what you did back there.
It's just my first
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
You never forget your first.
Same shot of Zeus. Oh, Valkyrie has the lightning bolt.
That's cool.
Because I have something worth
Guardian.
fighting for.
Okay. Oh,
Let's see
more.
who you are. I take off your disguise. And flip.
Flip too hard, damn it!
Shall we help them? And eventually. Great.
Okay. All right. What a way to end that trailer.
Man.
All right. So that does confirm, amongst other things, that Russell Crowe is indeed playing Zeus in this movie.
I'm intrigued by his Greek accent.
Yeah, very interested by that. And was I seeing things, or did we see Valkyrie using his lightning bolt?
Right. That's what I'm saying. On whatever that moon or that asteroid was, it looked like she was using the lightning bolt.
Okay.
Which, interesting.
Yeah.
I have reactions. I have thoughts that I will talk to you offline about, because I really don't want to spoil anything or speculate.
Yeah.
Get too deep into speculation on what happens, but that is really interesting.
Very interesting. I mean, let's just talk about the biggest thing right off the bat. We get our first look at Gorr, the God Butcher.
I love the look. I'm not surprised they didn't go with the Voldemort look from the comics, and not going that route. I liked that he was super creepy, super cool looking. I like the black ichor coming from his mouth and his nose. I am sold on the look of Gorr.
Yeah, I mean, Listen, I was worried at first. You know, you had those set pictures that got leaked, and you had those toy pictures that were all over Twitter, and it looked weird. It looked weird, but seeing it in action, Christian Bale has such a presence.
Oh, yeah.
Like seeing him raise his hand, like to Thor, he's just so creepy and so unsettling, and there's such a weight that he has as an actor, and you feel it in just like the brief snippets that we see of him in this trailer. I think he's going to be absolutely terrifying as a villain.
We talked before we started recording. There was one thing I was really hoping we didn't see, and we did. I get why, and I'll let you go. But when he says the line "All gods must die," I really wish that was saved for the movie. I get why it wasn't, but it would have been so nice to have that impact as a comic book fan, as a fan of the run, to have been able to get that satisfaction of seeing it first in theaters.
Yeah, and listen, I know I'm with you. I would have preferred they didn't do it, because in the comic we are introduced to Gorr very slowly, and there is a bit of like kind of a slasher element to it when we first meet him, and this movie's kind of laying the cards out on the table, and I think they have to do that for marketing purposes. Unfortunately, you know, they want you to kind of know what Gorr's all about and why he's such a threat, that it needs two Thors, a Valkyrie, Korg. Like, you need some of the most powerful heroes in the MCU to take him on, because he is powerful. He is essentially a being that can kill gods easily, that not only can kill them, but can massacre them in large numbers. So, yeah, I'm with you. I wish we didn't get it, but we did get it, and I kind of understand why we did. Some other cool things in the trailer. We got Thor with a new helmet mask on.
Yeah, I'm intrigued how we go from Ravager Thor to this. Because in the first trailer, it's like, yeah, I'm done fighting. I'm going to go with the Guardians and do Guardians things. And he would kind of go in full Quaker. But to see how he goes from leather jacket to full, like immaculate, intricate mask, I'm interested to see how we get there.
Yeah, I mean, going by the first trailer, this movie's going to focus a lot on Thor's life in general. I mean, we have the flashbacks to him as a kid, a young adolescent, the Thor that we meet in the first Thor movie, and that is very much in line with Jason Aaron's run, which essentially tells a story of three different Thors at three different points in his life.
Yeah.
And I'm very curious. I mean, just the Thor in the present day goes through a lot of costume changes, because we see him as Ravager Thor. We see him as Endgame Thor at one point in the first trailer, with like the black suit and the red cape. Then we see him as like a Jason Aaron homage in a suit that's pretty much 1-1 replica of the Jason Aaron Thor. So I'm kind of curious. The tagline intrigues me, because the tagline, like, they're really playing a lot on the fact that, there's more than one Thor now. So while that does refer to Jane, I'm wondering if that's also going to refer to maybe Thor interacting with other versions of himself.
Whether
possibly a Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, that variant, a different Thor from a different universe. And you touch on it. I'm glad. I hope we get Beta Ray Bill in this film. I'm glad they didn't have it in this trailer. If we are, those all certainly stand out, and I'm glad they didn't delve into too much or do ruin any plot with regards to if there are more than the two Thors that we're expecting.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this whole film feels like it's paying homage to. I'm saying the Jason Aaron run a lot, but there's so much in this movie from throughout all of Thor's history. Just the masked Thor look. Yeah. Reminds me so much of like Thunderstrike, like the Thunderstrike Thor from like the 80s and 90s. Even the Eric Masterson Thor from like back when the Infinity Gauntlet comic was around, and he was Thor in the Infinity Gauntlet, and he had the helmet that was also a mask. So, you know, they're playing, and you even see the classic Thor costume in the first trailer. So they're playing around a lot with Thor's entire comic history. And you know what? As a fan of comic books, I really do love seeing it.
Yeah.
For Phase 4, for me, for Marvel, is them being unapologetically true to the comics in the sense of style and look.
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but to me, that's definitely what I'm getting. We're seeing more comic accurate costumes, brighter colors, an introduction to more of a comic book style storytelling, where you're jumping from one storyline to another, and each movie or TV show feels like their own thing, as opposed to everything kind of feeling like a conveyor belt leading to a bigger story.
Right. Yeah, I think there is still, no pun intended, an endgame with this phase.
Yeah.
But no, it is unabashedly comic book. While we are getting some differences we're getting a lot more diversity in character. We are getting, like you said, we are getting that color. And even if the storylines aren't necessarily fully in sync with what we get in the comics, I have the comics. I have that. So I want to see how the MCU plays with that and twists it and turns it for this universe and multiverse that they're exploring. And I think Thor is a great vehicle for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see something like the Thor Force, involved in this movie. Even the Thor Corps from the Secret Wars comic book. A bunch of, like you said, like a bunch of ideas. This is what this movie feels like. A bunch of ideas from the comics represented differently, and I'm really excited about that. How do you feel about because I feel like what this movie is going to do is, in this phase already, we've been introduced to so many different pantheons of gods. Like, we have the Egyptian gods already. We're getting a new set of gods in Black Panther, if rumors are to be believed. We have the Norse gods. We have now the Greek gods. So all of these are kind of leading to Gorr the God Butcher. Are we going to see some of these gods get massacred? Probably. I would think so, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we are going to get a culling of gods. If you have, there will be a lot of as lighthearted, or at least as humorous as Taika Waititi can be. He has a history of touching on tough subjects. Like, look at Jojo Rabbit, a movie, while it's from the viewpoint of a child, is very much a World War II Holocaust Nazi film. And
there's a lot of darkness in that movie.
Right. So he uses the humor to help kind of transition these dark themes, and I think we're going to get a lot of dark that they just haven't showed us yet. And if you're not terrified of the look of Gorr and what he could do, I mean, he follows through with what he sets out to do in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, that's really my main hope for this movie. I'm hoping that, while I love the Taika Waititi humor, like you said, I want to feel the weight of Gorr, because that's what makes that comic run so special. Gorr is such a great villain, such a well-written villain, and I really want to see him translate well into the MCU, because I really want to see a villain of his caliber executed on live action, because I think, like, the MCU, they've course corrected a lot with their villain issues in recent years, because I think we've seen some of their best villains more recently, but I feel like this could be special if done right, and I really want to see this done right.
And I unlike other Thor villains introduced in Thor, like Loki and not Thanos wasn't necessarily introduced. I don't see Gorr lasting past this film. It'd be cool if Christian Bale and Gorr were able to move beyond it, but I do see this as kind of a one and done. Maybe I'm wrong, but honestly, I trust Taika, I trust Christian Bale to give us one hell of a villain. And while I'm thinking about it, the all black the Necrosword looked really cool too.
Yes. I don't know what we should say about the Necrosword, because
nothing more than that.
Nothing more than that, because it is a very big plot device for the character, and it's very important to the story. And I'm sure the emphasis on it that we see in the trailer, just with him pulling it out of the stone, I'm sure it's going to play equally as important a part in the movie. But, Dan, what are your final thoughts on the trailer?
Positive. Net positive. I'm excited. Again, this is a movie I've been anticipating for some time now. It hasn't necessarily increased my excitement because it was already so high. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I loved the humor at the end was great. I love that bit we didn't get any Hercules either. We didn't. I mean, there's talks of Hercules. We didn't get any Hercules, and I'm glad that the Guardians don't seem to be a big focus of this film.
Yes.
Not that I don't like the Guardians, but they have their own third movie coming out. I want this to be a Thor movie, and if they're just a vehicle to kind of move some plot along, that's all I need from them.
Yeah, I mean, because the first that's what I liked so much about this trailer. The first trailer made it seem like they had a bigger role than they should have in this movie. This trailer kind of really only limited them to a brief flash, and that's what I really want from them in this movie. We don't need them. Tell us a Thor story. Tell us a story about Thor and Jane and about Gorr the God Butcher. That's what I want, and that's really what this trailer gave me, so it has me very excited.
Yes. Yeah. Anything else I have to say will verge into potential spoilers or oversharing on what we know from the comics, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, just one. I think one more thing that I noticed in the trailer that I thought was cool is I saw Jane. It appears could make the hammer shoot out the rubble.
Oh shit! Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yes, that was cool. I mean, Jane does a lot of really cool things with the hammer when she is Thor, and I'm glad that they are exploring what this version of Mjolnir can do in her hands. So
absolutely,
yes,
and Natalie Portman
100%.
is huge.
She's ripped.
Yeah,
wouldn't want to face her in an alley alone.
Oh no, she looks great, and I'm sure the Mighty Thor will be awesome.
Yeah.
Dan, where can the people find you?
You can find me hosting the Fantastic Four podcast on Twitter at the Fantastic Four. We try and go every other week. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, but I do my best.
And you guys can find me on the MontyVerse, on all the socials at the MontyVerse. If you guys like the video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up and drop the comments down below on your thoughts on the Thor Love and Thunder trailer. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for all of our latest content. And until next time, guys, stay versed.